Today I'm making chili for you. It's cold outside, it's winter, we're coming up to the shortest day of the year, and comfort food is what we really want. What I'm making is a Midwestern style chili, more for family than what you might find if you were in the Southwest. So starting with a little bit of oil in a hot pan. I use olive oil. This is a pound of ground beef. This one happens to be 93% lean. I'll cook this up and break it up and get it going in here. You can hear that. Let's turn the heat down just a little. Cook this and break it up until the beef is brown. This is going to be a meatier chili. I use fewer beans than I think we used at home growing up for a couple of reasons, but I do like the meaty, tomatoey flavor of this chili. All right, we've got the meat mostly browned. I will add onions. This is about 3/4 of a cup of chopped onion, a little garlic, 2 cloves, a rib of celery chopped. And for now, that's all that I'll have in here while we cook a little bit more until the onion and celery are softened. Keep that going for a few minutes. This might take about 5 minutes. Now we're ready for a few more ingredients. I have a very small amount of hot red pepper flakes. You could use a little cayenne. That's going to be to taste. Every family has different tastes as far as how hot they like this. This happens to be a very mild chili. Like I said, much more Midwestern than you'll find in the Southwest. Now, some of the next things I want to put in, I use a little bit of, and I'm using, this is chopped cilantro. I'll put a little bit in here now. My husband is not a big fan of cilantro, so I'm only putting a small amount in here. The rest of it I'll sprinkle on my bowl later on because I love cilantro. So we'll get this cooking. Turn the temperature down just a little. I've got a half a teaspoon of cumin. This is paprika, a tablespoon of paprika. Dried onion, a teaspoon of dried onion. Those are things that I put always in my chili. Chili powder, this is another one. Maybe you'll want to do a little more, a little less than this. This happens to be a tablespoon. I'm going to put about half of it in there. Again, my husband is not as much of a fan. I might sprinkle more into my bowls later because I really do like the chili powder flavor in my chili. Bring this down just a tad. And I've got here a teaspoon of dried oregano. And put just a little bit of the beef broth in to moisten that. While these blend. That was beef broth. I have a 14 and a half ounce can of beef broth. Goes in there. This is so quick and easy to make. Then we get this bubbling. This is a 14 and a half ounce can of stewed tomatoes. I like that best for my chili. Get the tomatoes in here. I've got a little 4 and a half ounce can of green chilies. I think we're at the point where I no longer need the spatula. I'll be able to use a spoon. The reason I'm using a wider but high-sided skillet style pan, saute pan, is so that you can see what I'm doing. Ordinarily I would use a soup pot about this high and this tall, but it's working just as fine. Since this is a small batch of chili, it works just fine in this pan. Now the next thing, while this is simmering, I'll keep this just kind of on low. While this is simmering, I have a 14 and a half ounce can of kidney beans. Now this is what I do. Let's get my hand mixer and a small bowl. Generally, I will take a little bit of the beans out of this can and put into this bowl. Roughly about half the can and about half of the juices. Alright then, that's a little bit too much. Alright, about a third of the can, it's up to you. And a little of the juices, then I will puree those. To get them broken up. That's why I use this hand mixer. Pretty much these beans are about half pureed, but what they do then is it helps break them up. Kidney beans hold their shape so well that you need to have some of them broken up and smashed a little bit so that it helps thicken the chili. If you don't have a hand mixer like that, a hand blender like that, you can use a fork and smash some of the beans from the can. So I put that into the chili, and then where's the other half of my can of beans? Here they are. Then I add the rest of the can of kidney beans. Get this in here to simmer. Heat back up just slightly. Now at this point, if you do want to add a little more hot sauce or hot pepper flakes, you could use cayenne. As I mentioned, hot pepper flakes. Here's something that I like to use in this instance, since my husband doesn't want the chili as hot this time. I use Sriracha sauce, and I add that to my individual bowl. So we both end up with a chili that we love. This will have to simmer, I'd say 10, 15, 20 minutes. It just really depends. But I like the flavors to marry. Salt and pepper. Black pepper. To taste. This has been simmering for about 20 minutes, and you know, if this is a busy weeknight and you're ready to serve dinner, you can serve this right now. But it does, I think, get a little bit better if the flavors marry even longer. So you can turn it, you could transfer this at this point to a slow cooker and cook it longer. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, just a bare simmer, and put the lid on and let it go for another 40 minutes, so it gets about an hour of cooking time, and then I think it'll be completely done. We'll be able to serve it, and we'll have a great chili on this cold winter evening. It's been long enough. Our chili is done. Let's take a look at that. It's beautiful. All right. Let's get this into the bowl and take a taste of it. You can still see here some chunks of tomato. We want that to be like that. A few beans, a lot more meat. You can see the chili is a little bit thicker, not watery, and that's because of the smashing of part of the can of the kidney beans. We're ready to go. This recipe makes about 6 cups of chili, so it might be 6 small servings for average. A little shredded Kojak cheese, and we're done. I might serve this with crusty bread, or even tortilla chips.